Okay, year 7, this is how you're going to make bread next week. Okay, so you will get a bag of flour that will already have the yeast in it. It's bread flour, so it's got lots of gluten in it. It's a strong bread flour, so it has more gluten in than normal. You also need some warm water and some oil, which we'll bring round and put in. A baking tray that's got parchment over. You can share your baking trays in the lesson. So we will come round and put 2 tablespoons of oil into your dry mixture. So in this mixture you've got your strong bread flour, your yeast, some salt and a little bit of sugar to help activate the yeast. Then we're going to add warm water. Now the warm water needs to be about 37 degrees centigrade. Any hotter it will kill the yeast, and the yeast won't ferment and grow and give off the gas carbon dioxide. So I'm mixing in with my 2 fingers here, just so I'm keeping my one hand clean and using one hand in the dough. And you can see it's coming together a little bit, but it's very dry still. So I'm going to add half the water again of what I've got in my jug. The weights and the measures will be on the board in the lesson. Okay, so you can see that it's starting to come together into a bigger ball, but it's not quite there yet. It's still got a lot of dry bits of flour and the mixture at the bottom of the bowl. Okay, you can be quite tough with this mixture. You want to be working quite hard. Look, you can see it's still wet, it's still dry at the bottom. Okay, so I'm adding a bit more water. You can always add more, but you can't take it away if you add too much. So it's important to just do it gradually at this point. Otherwise, you end up making a bit of a mess and it'll need rescuing. I've just shown you that my other hand is still clean. You don't need both hands in the bowl. Okay, and you can see there's still some dry bits at the bottom of the bowl, so I'm going to add another bit of water in, and then I'm going to squish the dough, push it down, squeeze it with my hand and scrape round the dough around the bowl. So I'm picking up all the dry bits and I'm being quite rough with it. It's not like pastry. Okay, you can be rough with this. And then what we're going to do once we get all the mixtures together is clean our hands, and then we'll start to knead the dough. Right, so you're going to use the flour dredgers to put a little bit of flour on your worktop. Put your dough on the worktop, get rid of your bowl, put it over by the sink, fill it with a little bit of water if you can. It just helps it to be cleaner at the end. It helps you to clean it. Now I'm kneading this, so what I'm doing is I'm using the heel of my hand and I'm pushing the bread into the worktop and stretching it and pushing it away from myself, and then pulling it back into a ball and then stretching it away again. Okay, it's hard graft and you need to do this for about 10 minutes, so it's a good way of getting rid of all those stresses and tensions. If someone's wound you up at break time or at lunchtime or on the way into school, at least you can then work it out on the dough. Now I'm going to eat this bread later on, so I've added some olives to it, but you're not going to be doing that in the lesson. And I've kneaded it now for 10 minutes with the olives in. I'm just going to roll it into a little bit of a baton, small baton, and then put 3 slits across the top, and that's going to go onto a baking tray, and it's going to go in the grill, not the oven, the grill. Your oven is on and the grill is getting warm from the oven, and it goes in there for 20 minutes. When it comes out, you can see those slits have got wider and the bread's grown, it's got bigger, and all that gas that's been given off by the yeast has been trapped inside. Okay, this is when we put it into the oven to bake it. Okay, goes in for 10-12 minutes, and then this is what you get at the end, a golden brown baked loaf. Okay, it's very hot, so don't do this, but put it on a cooling tray. We'll probably end up wrapping these when they get cool. Beautiful bread, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy it. If you want to check your bread is cooked, it sounds hollow if you turn it over. It sounds hollow underneath it, like a drum.